guys, I am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Amber from Kyuujin Cosplay, and today we are back on guys with Loki, episode 3.
Yes.
Last episode we ended up with Lady Loki.
We saw her.
Wait, we saw her.
But
We don't think that it's her.
no, we both thought that she looked too different to be Lady Loki, and a quick search online after the episode basically proved me that we're not the only ones. And that this could probably be Enchantress and not Lady Loki. So Enchantress would be, I think it's a sorceress or something that was created by Loki. So sort of like a daughter.
She got blonde hair, and she doesn't like to be called Loki, so that will be fitting.
Very.
But who knows? We might be wrong again.
Well, more fitting though than a Lady Loki with blonde hair. So I think I love that. I love that theory. So hopefully we get an answer for that this episode or soon. But in the meantime, Loki is left with Lady Loki / Enchantress, and he did that look where we're not so sure that he wanted to leave with her to actually fight the timekeepers. We think that he might be trying to play her, but we'll have to see what he does next. There's also a part of him that does want to face the timekeepers. Like, it's still Loki, you know?
Yeah.
He's still gonna want to do his thing. Actually, last episode, a part of the episode was about him trying to manipulate the others in order to face the timekeepers.
Yeah, true.
But as it is right now, Lady Loki / Enchantress has set many bombs everywhere, and there are so many variant timelines that are being created. It's not pretty.
No.
And everyone is leaving the TVA to just fight this. So there's a good chance that Lady Loki is on her way to the timekeepers.
To TVA?
Well, through the TVA, because no one is there, and to the timekeepers, because she learned about where they are. So we'll see what she does this episode and how Loki manages.
But the real question is, are they still there? Because
Yes.
we do think that they're not there anymore.
By the way, I thought I was being really clever last episode about, you know, perhaps they're the real evil and stuff, but apparently it's also a very popular theory. So there you go, we think alike.
It would make sense.
So yeah, let's jump in this episode and see what they have in store for us next. It was really funny last week, so I wonder if this week we'll have jokes or drama.
Let's watch it, guys.
Let's go.
Oh, God. Brain freeze.
You know what brain freeze is, don't you?
Here we go.
It's when you sip something so cold, it permeates the roof of your mouth and freezes the synapses in your brain, so your memories are literally frozen in place.
That is absolutely not true.
It is. Okay, try it. I'm going to ask you a question, and you won't be able to tell me the answer until your synapses have melted.
Challenge accepted. Okay, ask.
How many people are guarding the timekeepers?
Oh, so that's how. I was a bit weirded out by this. I was like, what the fuck?
That's clever, though.
Gain someone's
How do I
trust.
find the elevators?
They're gold.
Easy.
Yeah, but like it's gonna be there.
Yeah, but still. He did. What the fuck?
True. Paris won't work there.
Well, it worked enough that we saw like the light, but yeah, it's not supposed to work. She can kick ass. Oh.
A few questions.
Have you really got nothing else better to do?
Rude. You sure you're a Loki?
You're in my way.
I'm
On
not.
my way. I thought perhaps we could work together. But now I see you lack vision. So either you'll come willingly, or you won't. Either way, that's how I get to be the timekeepers.
Hey! Come any closer and I'll kill it.
She
Go
doesn't.
for it.
Exactly.
Doesn't care.
Get off my leg!
Yeah.
Goodbye.
They go well together.
Variant.
Gonna have to stick with him for a while then.
With powers, he kicks ass too.
Just give it back to me. You don't even know how to recharge it.
Of course I do. Not the only tech-savvy Loki.
Don't ever call me that. So you're just fully a magician then?
Fine. For my next trick, I'll make you disappear. Is that one of your powers?
Where did you send us?
I was wondering that too. It had to be some sort of apocalypse, right? Ugh. The future looks grim.
I don't want to go to the future then.
Of all of the apocalypses saved on that temper, this is the worst. No one makes it off here. Watch out!
I'm sorry about it. Didn't exactly have time to scan the brochure.
There!
So we're a team now? Oh, gosh, no!
The plan you interrupted was years in the making. Years.
Give us info.
And as soon as I turn that tempad back on, I'm going straight back to the TVA to finish what I started.
Good. Where are you going?
There's power somewhere on this moon. We just need enough of it to travel through interdimensional time and space.
Just that. Easy peasy. I love that she lost a bit of her seriousness from last episode. You know, how intense the situation is and stuff. Last episode, she was just on top of everything. And she seemed like a true villain, but now they're giving her some humanity. It looks cool. I wouldn't live there, but it looks great.
You're not fond of the meteors crashing?
Nah. It's like a 2 on Yelp or something.
We can't fight our way onto that train.
Who said anything about fighting?
All your plans involve fighting.
Not this one. I'm going to enchant a guard, have him lead us through the crowd, and if anyone gives us any trouble...
Make him start shooting.
Everybody's so pissed off that they just cross the line like that. I will be too.
Have a look.
Like someone with a shit plan.
It's a great plan.
It looks great. He's so eager.
Whoa, hey! Taking this one to Sharu. Okay. And the tickets? Orders come from the top to get her on this train. Sir, this...
A mix of both.
Everything okay?
Good.
Everything's fine.
They work well together. Their powers match. Which would make sense.
Oh, you're a bit tired. Feel free to, get some rest.
I can't sleep in a place like this.
You can't sleep on a train.
No, I can't sleep around untrustworthy people.
Oh, right. That me.
But you feel free to take a nap.
Nice try.
I'm not going to waste my time rooting around for the tempad when someone taught you fairly decent magic.
My mother.
What was she like?
She was a queen of Asgard. She was good. Purely decent. When I was young, she'd do these little bits of magic for me. I'd turn a flower into a frog or cast fireworks over the water. And it all seemed impossible. But she told me that one day I'd be able to do it too, because I could do anything.
Oh.
Not bad.
I like to vent her.
So, where'd you learn to do the
I
Whatever
taught
it is.
myself.
You taught yourself that magic?
Yeah, I did.
You just go into their minds and project some sort of illusion.
Really, it'd be easier if I just
Enchanted me and make it give you the tempad so you can leap out of the living train. No, thank you.
Well, then don't ask. Champagne?
Ah, yes, thank you.
I didn't know if there was another relationship in the show was gonna challenge Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston. It's getting there. He's relaxing his way. But he switched his costume and everything. Like, aren't she supposed to be undercover?
I storm svarta fjäll, när kommer du hem?
I love Asgardian music. That's how a party goes on Asgard. Bits of fun and then a little bit of sorrow and seriousness and then go back to fun. But he just blew their cover.
Where's your uniform? We're meant to be laying low.
Right?
Who cares? It's the end of the world.
Trust in yourself.
Sir, can I see your tickets?
Tickets? Yes, of course. Here they are.
No.
Still, it looks lovely, doesn't it? Look, is this really necessary? There is a simple explanation. Hey.
Drunk Loki, guys. Drunk Loki. Here goes your chance.
Well, that's not ideal.
Give me the 10 pound.
All right.
Oh,
Well, I had to take quite a tumble.
You arsehole. You killed us.
Maybe we can fix it. Okay?
You're not a serious man.
You're right. I'm a god.
You're a clown. You got drunk on the train.
I'm hedonistic. That's what I do.
I'm hedonistic. A lot more than you, I assure you. But never at the expense of the mission.
Oh, the mission? The mission? What, your glorious purpose? Give me a break. You can't beat them.
It's like Loki has just abandoned any will to fight back. He's just throwing back at her what he learned in episode 1. Like, I had a reality check. You need yours.
What now?
I don't know. You broke the tempad.
Well,
And that planet is about to crash into us.
what about the Ark?
The Ark never leaves because it's destroyed.
Never had us on it.
So they're gonna save everyone and create one massive variant timeline. They've already
Yeah.
fucked the sacred timeline. Why not?
But then it's gonna call for some timekeepers to go and fix it. And then you're gonna have a tempad again.
You want to know how enchantment works? I have to make physical contact and then grab hold of their mind. Most are easy and I can overtake them instantly. Others, the stronger ones, it gets tricky. In order to preserve the connection, I have to create a fantasy from their memories. That young soldier from the TVA, her mind was messed up, everything clouded. I had to pull a memory from hundreds of years prior.
And it's
before she
true.
even fought for them.
Yeah, how did she get that memory? She was human before.
Before she joined the TVA. I was told that everyone who works at the TVA was created by the timekeepers.
That's ridiculous. They're all variants, just like us.
And
They
then-
don't know that.
Yeah.
They're all
That's all right.
So that could be why Owen Wilson loves jet skis so much.
because he used to love them when he was on Earth.
So they robbed them of their humanity and memories.
We're going to let these people die.
I knew, other clues and stuff, all leading to the timekeepers are bad.
We go round.
We're going long shot. Let's go.
Over here.
It's still going. The effect is pretty cool.
That was impressive.
Can't be that easy.
What are they gonna do now?
Fuck! That'd be the time to scream. These episodes! are so short.
Well, they're not that short, but we're so invested in that the time just fly by, guys.
I'm loving this show so far. Every episode is great. I was, like I said in the episode, I was not sure if there was gonna be another duo in this show that would top Owen Wilson and Tom Hiddleston for me.
With the banting and the
with
dialogue.
the banter and the jokes and just the chemistry. And I'm not sure it tops it, but it's really getting close to it. Him and Sylvie. I think they go well together, which makes sense if she is indeed a Lady Loki. They are supposed to be similar, so they're supposed to... You know how we say sometimes that if you were to meet your clone or something, you'd end up killing yourself? Because, you know, your personality... We think that our personality would go well with our personality. Someone with the exact same personality. It's not necessarily true. You would get on your own nerves and stuff like that. At least it's a theory. I think this is what we got here. You know, they have similar... Like, even if she's not Lady Loki, if she is Enchantress... They do have very similar personalities, so they clash all the time. You know, they both... Although I feel like she's been through a lot of shit that has robbed her of that easy, funny side that he's showing more in this show, especially since he learned the truth. So... It's funny. It was funny, and it was interesting that they gave her more humanity in this episode, because last episode, like I said, she was more stoic. She was more, you know, focused on her plan, and she was playing like a villain. But then in this episode, since she had no other choice but to tag along with Loki, they kind of had to humanize her a little bit.
That in the second episode and the beginning of this one, she was mainly...
focused.
Only focused.
A soldier.
On her mission.
Yeah.
So nothing else will matter right now.
Nothing else matters.
Wrong. Yeah. Never mind.
Basically.
But right now, yes, they need to recharge or fix the time pad. They need to get out of this damn moon,
and they both have like the pride to defend, you know, their own abilities and stuff. So that's why whenever he shows some tricks, she's like, "Oh, you're just a magician." Like it's an insult, and he's like, "Well, you're also just a magician." Like it's an insult. You know, they both try, but it's interesting because their powers are so similar yet very different. So he wants to learn some tricks from her, and then she gets surprised by what he does.
I don't know if you ever read stories about Thor's universe, but they kind of showed it in the first movie. But in Asgard, people who do magic tricks compared to warrior are looked down upon. You know, even though that was it Frigga or Frigga? Well, even though that Frigga was the queen, and was a sorceress,
but she's a queen.
They cannot talk back to her.
No, but he's first of all, he's a guy. You know, I don't remember. I don't think women are treated differently than men, but there's still that difference. You know, if you're a guy, history shows that you're supposed to be strong and like Thor. Basically, Thor is like the epitome of what you'd call a guy.
Yeah, and not doing a woman's trick with magic. You know?
Yeah, so there's sexism going on here, but then for her. She's a girl, first of all, and she's also a sorceress. Like, she works with magic too, so there really is no need for her to put him down. But then she does exactly that, because I feel like they both need to feel like they're the stronger one in this relationship.
Well, so far, what have we seen her do with her magic?
She takes over minds, and weirdly enough, I think that's the only thing we've seen her do with her magic. So that was my other point. Well, I feel like he's stronger with his magic.
When she screams, she uses a burst of power, so she might be able to do other stuff too.
And like, if she is Lady Loki, because I still have many doubts, especially since she kept saying in this episode, I'm not you, I'm not Lady Loki, you know, stuff like that. Well, I'm not Loki. If she was indeed, or, you know, even if she was Enchantress, she said that she barely remembers, you know, her mother. And in Loki's story, his mother is supposed to be the one that teaches him magic. So if her mother was not there for her, everything that she learned, like she said, is self-taught. Someone that was self-taught cannot be, or sometimes they can do something that is way out there, that doesn't follow the norms. like her, or, you know, mind control, which is why he doesn't know how to do it, and he's surprised that she can do it, and he doesn't understand it because she had to make it up. So there's originality behind her power, but she cannot do the basics of what he can do. Or she's just a completely different person, hence the different powers, but then we'll see later. Because I feel like they're leaving so many, you know, hints at her not being Loki. Just the fact that she insists on being called something else, and she's like, I'm not, you know, you don't call me variant and stuff like that. Like, she rejects everything that says that she's just one copy of the same guy or person. And so I don't know, like, it could also come from the fact that she's been, you know, chased for years, and maybe, like, you know, there's a theory going on that she was probably a variant that was arrested by the TVA, and then when she learned the truth, she went through what Loki went through, and she decided to rebel and destroy the Timekeepers because she learned that they were mean, like they were the bad guys.
True.
Which
How
I
would-
do
How would
believe.
she know then that the people working in the TVA are other variants just like them?
Because she
So
learned.
that would make sense.
Yeah, she learned about this. Which, by the way, speaking of that fact, doesn't surprise me much, but it's really sad considering the conversation we had last episode about this. About how, you know, they don't... Mobius, you know, was saying that he likes to remember, you know, what he's fighting for, which is humanity and that all things human, but then he never gets the chance to experiment it. Yet he feels a strong attachment to it, but he can't, you know, explain it. And, you know, we saw other people in the TVA that don't know anything about human life. And we were saying, you know, oh, it's weird that people who are supposed to, you know, help us don't know anything about us and about
True.
life.
I mean, we can understand why they need to be detached from us because they need to be impartial when they're doing their job.
Very true.
But it doesn't mean that they cannot just know who they're supposed to protect,
Well, it's like
or
they-
keep in check.
Well, we were saying something like, it's like they forgot, you know, because they're being detached from the humans so much, and they're, you know, they're being told that they're different, that they're, you know, above the humans, and some of them, you know, really show that when they go to the real world to destroy a variant timeline, because they know they're gonna destroy it anyway, so what's the point of connecting with it? But then to learn that they used to connect with it, and that they used to be a part of it, and then everything went, you know, crazy. And also the fact that they make them forget. It's not just like Loki was like, oh, I'm a variant, but I'd like to work with you. And they're letting him do it. So they promised him that there was a chance maybe for him to go back to his timeline. So I'm wondering if maybe everyone in the TVA
Was offered
did
the
something
same,
like that. And then
same,
the
yeah.
the chance to go back is basically them destroying, you know, his memories. And if he's a good enough agent, keeping him in a TVA. And if so, can we reverse it?
That's messed up. Well, I mean, Sylvie just said that the Timekeeper's memory, the Minute Woman memories was all confused, but they were still there. So maybe with her magic, she can be able to bring them up to the surface and just make them remember who they used to be.
And is it that too? You know, the memories are there, and it goes back like 100 years or something. So they did something to her, because like if she's human, she can't live 100, you know, that long.
Well, Mobius just said that time and TVA wasn't the same.
Works different, exactly.
You know.
But then I wonder if maybe they did something to them to make them forget, or it's just that over time everyone forgets eventually. That'd be like taking a huge risk, because anyone who remembers would be saying like, well, I used to be human, so were you. So I wonder if it's up to chance, or it's just really do something to the TVA agents. I'm going more towards that they do something to TVA agents, because like the more we watch this show, the more I'm like convinced that the Timekeepers are bad.
Well, I'm pretty sure that they did something too.
They keep
because
hinting at it.
they, like we said in the second episode, in the TVA, everything needs to be in proper order.
Yes.
You know, and
Everyone follows the rules.
everyone follow the lines. So by allowing someone to remember who they used to
Be a variant
That-
of a variant.
yeah, that's gonna go against what they're preaching for.
Yes.
And when they're doing their job, they would, I don't want to pulverize the human to restore the timeline. They don't have to be
Because
pulverized.
they used to be just like
That's
me.
right.
Yeah. Because they used to be
So,
variants.
yeah.
So, yeah, it's going to make for an interesting conversation next time we see Mobius.
Mobius, you used to love jet ski.
Yes. And you used to go on one and stuff. You used to own one, probably. Or you used to dream about owning one, and then you became a variant. Maybe you bought the jet ski, and that's how you turned variant. Because you were never supposed to earn one. Anyway.
I know.
But, yeah, every time they talk about the timekeepers, whether it's in, you know, the recap and stuff, and they pull, you know, the important information from the previous episodes that we need to remember, they keep pulling that line about them, you know, overlooking everything that's happening and stuff, and I'm like, is that a good or bad thing, you know? And there's also the fact that Lady Loki, Sylvie, we'll call her Sylvie, she has been, you know, on a quest to destroy them, I'm guessing, for years and years. So something pushed her to do that, and she is intelligent, and she doesn't seem crazy or anything. So, or power hungry. You know, Loki had his moments, but usually it shows, you know, and there's a deeper meaning to what he wants. So, and she doesn't look, you know, it doesn't look like she's after power or anything. So there's a good reason why she's after, and she called them fascists. So basically, she learned the truth about the timekeepers, and she wants to destroy them because they are ruling over everyone in the sacred timeline, and it's not good. Like I said, I like the idea that having multiple universes and multiple timelines and stuff was not a bad thing. It led to a war, but then after the war, what's the
Unless it didn't.
Maybe there wasn't a war.
Who's to say that they decided to be the sole...
No, but even if it did...
owner of the timeline.
True.
So they decided to erase every other timeline and just keep their own.
It could definitely be that. And, you know, even if there was a war, you know, the solution is never to eradicate the losers, you know, in the war. You shake hands, you learn from your mistakes, and you move on, and you become better than what you used to be if there was a war. The solution is never to just kill the enemy completely, massacre them. And that's exactly what they did with the timelines. So...
You know what? The more I think about it, the more I think that maybe the timekeepers just wanted to create their own timeline and eradicate every single one of them.
Be that
because technically, who created those propaganda videos that we watched in the first or second episode with Loki? You know, when we learned about what TVA was supposed to represent.
Well, the timekeepers?
Yeah.
Well, of course, they need to explain what the TVA is for.
No, I know, but we also know that they're the one to... Well, they're technically the one who erase all of the TVA workers' memories.
No one goes back as far as the timekeepers, so obviously, you know, I think it's in Game of Thrones that they say history is written by the winners, or something like that.
Everybody say that.
Well, I mean, it's in Game of Thrones that I read it, so...
Yeah, but I've learned history. You know, your history books are written by the winners of history.
I don't care. I read it in Game of Thrones. So, history is written by the winners. So, if the timekeepers are the only ones that go back as far as the war, they could definitely have made it up.
Oh, we're the good guys. We saved the timeline.
But then, you know, saying that, we need them to say that there was no war if there was no war, because no one can go back as far as the timekeepers, as far as we know. So we'll have to see. And I mean, maybe they're not as, you know, we were saying last episode, since one of them looks like Thanos, it means that Thanos could be a descendant of the timekeepers, so they're not as mysterious and different as we think. You know, they might be just as mortal as anyone else. It's just that they control.
I wouldn't call Thanos mortal, to be honest.
Well, no, but
with you.
mortal. It's not the right word, but that's my French, you know, taking over my English. I feel like, you know, when we talk about the timekeepers, we imagine these beings that are above gods and above everything else. But then, if one of them is the ancestor to Thanos, or the race that is Thanos, because I don't really know what it's called, but still. If they are the ancestors to that, I mean, it means that they used to be just as normal as any other character in the MCU. So what makes them different from Loki, who is a god, or Thor, or freaking Odin, or Thanos? One of them is fucking Stan Lee. Well, not one of them, but he was in one of the first episodes.
Well,
so
I will believe though that Stan Lee might be one of the timekeepers.
Definitely. Well, he used to write the scripts. He used to work on it, so he had a hand in the TVA without his knowledge.
Stan Lee was the real timekeeper.
He was the ultimate one. Anyway, if the Timekeepers are bad, though, they will never give him that role. Ever.
True.
They cannot spin on his legacy like that.
No.
So, anyway, but I really enjoyed it. I like that we got to see another side to Sylvie. I like that the mystery thickens, but at the same time, we get to see some clues that we're right about the Timekeepers and that we might be right about her not being a Lady Loki.
Mm-hmm.
And yet, whether or not she is, we got some great bonding and some great banter. And it's really interesting. Loki's character is interesting to me because in this episode, the way he talked to her, as if, having a goal in life and trying to go against the Timekeepers and stuff meant nothing, and it led to nothing. And I'm like, well, dude, aren't you the one who said you wanted to meet the Timekeepers and do something about your faith? Because, like, it felt like he wanted to fight, but then the way he spoke to her and the way, he rejected her idea of fighting back, I was like, have you lost hope? Like, have you just given up?
I don't think that he's given up because his main goal, if I remember correctly, was to meet them and be able to survive the not to be pulverized, but she's trying to go and destroy them. That's completely two different goals.
Maybe he hasn't given up, but then the wake-up call he got in the first episode, which was also in the recap about, is this the greatest power in the universe? He realizes that he and his power mean nothing compared to the Timekeepers and their power. And he acknowledges that, and then he looks at Sylvie, and he's like, you're a lesser version of me, and you want to go against the Timekeepers? You need to wake up. You need to realize that this is bigger than what you think.
That'll make more sense than just saying that he just gave up.
Which, if that is what happened and what led to him saying, don't go there, don't do that, would make him really intelligent, which he is, but not too naive as to think that he can face the Timekeepers. But then maybe with Sylvie together, they can learn the truth and do something.
But there's also the fact that their powers is not working in TVA's office.
That can probably be changed. We need to find a way.
Yeah, it's true. We did see a little bit of
magic
from Sylvie, but then
saw a flash,
but then it just went down. So maybe there might be something that prevents magic to work. And that place.
Like a system, something like that you can disarm.
To be honest with you guys, right now, I think that's a good thing because they're using Infinity Stones at a paper block.
A paperweight.
A paperweight, yeah. So
Paper
I don't
block.
want them to be effective right now.
Well, if the people in the TVA realized how much power they had in their fucking, desks, yeah, it would turn into, craziness real quick. But I don't know if they would ever get the chance. I think, what we need is for Sylvie and Loki to keep bonding and to, for her to tell the truth and for them to get on the same side. And then they need to tell Mobius about it and they need to get the TVA on their side. And then, with their little army of TVA agents, they need to go after.
They'll be one of the main tasks to do.
Mobius,
one of the most difficult tasks to do.
Mobius needs to get on our side. He cannot be the enemy. I will not have it. And we still need a wow.
Wow.
So there's that. And also the guard woman who kicks ass every episode except this one because she wasn't in it. We also need her to be on our side because that would be cool. Mm-hmm. And the director, the girl who's in charge of the whole thing, she loves Mobius. So some people are suspicious of her.
It's true that if she's on their side, probably the rest of the TV will be on their side too because she direct the TVA. So.
And I mean, Loki and Sylvie are master manipulators. Just twist some words around, be nice and just try to, make them realize that something's up. Mm-hmm. And let them do the rest.
All right.
We're halfway through the show. We need, we're going to have some great time. Something is going to happen, but now we need to get off this planet first, so. Okay. That's it for episode 3. Thank you guys so much for watching this with us. If you want to see episode 4 right away, it's not possible.
No.
It will be there next week, but if you want to see the full reaction to the episode, that will be on Patreon. So the link is in the description below. Check it out if you want, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See you next Wednesday.